Hi, my name is Shanika Rupasinghe and this is my husband, Mevan Piris, and we were fortunate enough to be the first couple to have a water birth at Ninewells Hospital. So it had always been my dream to have a water birth, and at the time that I read about it and researched about it, which was so many years ago, the facility was not available in Sri Lanka, and I was secretly hoping that one day by the time I become a mother, it would be possible to have a water birth in Sri Lanka. So when we started consulting Dr. Prabodhana Ranavira in August last year, just out of curiosity, I asked him how he feels about water birth. I didn't think it had still come to Sri Lanka or that it was possible. And then he gave me the happy news that Ninewells was doing a construction of birthing suites which included a water birth, the tubbing facility, and I was so happy and so excited, and I asked doctor whether it would be ready by the time I have my baby. We didn't know at that time whether it would be ready or not, because obviously there are lots of standards and protocols that had to be arranged, but I'm happy to say that by the time it was time to give birth, I was very, very fortunate that not only was the birthing suite ready, but the doctor was also positive and encouraged and advocated for a water birth. And also, very importantly, the hospital staff had to be trained and they had to be ready to support a water birth. And Dr. Prabodhana mentioned to us that he had got down a midwife qualified in the UK, Miss Rennie, and that she was being brought to Sri Lanka in order to train the staff. So this journey of the water tub and water birthing facility went hand in hand with my pregnancy, and every time we met with doctor, we checked on the progress of the water birth facility and whether it would be ready for us and how it would work. So consequently we came and had a look at the suite. It was very nice. It's actually done really well in such a way that there's a separate visitors area, there's the water birthing suite room itself, which they maintained sanitation and sterilization standards. We didn't really go into the room actually when we came to see it, because they had to keep it clean. And then of course the normal hospital room like setup with the cot and the bed, and it's done really well. It's very comfortable. And then if I am to speak a little bit about the experience of the water birth itself, I didn't require any convincing because I was an advocate for water birth, and it was my first baby, so I don't have anything to compare it to in terms of comparing it to the pain or the process. But I have to say I'm really, really happy with how things turned out. There was nothing that I was upset about or nothing that went wrong really. The hospital staff, from the admin and management down to the nurses and the helping staff, everyone was really, really nice to us. They were very easy to work with, very accommodating. Because baby came actually 3 weeks early, so things were, even though we had checked with the hospital, things happened much faster than we planned it to. And still regardless, they were able and ready to help us. Dr. Prabodhana was willing to go ahead with my dream of wanting a water birth. Miss Rennie was amazing. Actually, she overlooked the whole birth and the whole water birth process. But she didn't start just when I walked into hospital. Even before that, she used to check on me. She used to make sure that I'm keeping healthy and happy, and she was with me every part of the journey. Dr. Prabodhana also was very invested in the development of our baby and how I was doing, It was not an arbitrary process where you can just decide you're going to do a water birth. There are so many stages before where you have to make sure you're a low risk mother and that baby is healthy and in a good position, and there are so many other little things that have to fall into place before you can just decide to have a water birth. We were really fortunate that everything did fall into place and I was relatively low risk. And then, like I said, the experience itself was really beneficial for me. I felt empowered as a woman and as a mother. There was very little interference, but there was guidance and advice given throughout. Miss Rennie spoke me through everything, the reason for anything, any test, the reason why things are done a certain way, and they made sure that I was comfortable with it, whether I was okay with it, any examination, why it's done, whether it's okay that that's done to my body. And it felt really good because it put me in like the leading role or the leading position where I could call the shots. I could decide if I was comfortable with something or not. But of course, as professionals, they had their advice, and I would always leave it up to the doctor and the midwife to decide what is best for me and my baby, what is a health risk and what's not. And I believe Dr. Prabodhana and Miss Rennie together made a fantastic team to make the right decisions on my behalf when it came to it, but also in supporting my dream and what I was comfortable with and what made me happy. My delivery was actually unmedicated, so there were no painkillers given to me, no injections, no intervention of any kind really, unless I wanted it and asked for it, which I didn't. So I have to say in that regard, it went really well. I'm doing fine. I had baby yesterday really. I labored from about 6 in the morning and I had baby at 4 in the evening, and I'm feeling fine. Baby is well adjusted and doing okay as well. And I've had a lot of support from the hospital staff. They've all been good. Even the aftercare has been good. I believe it was the first time for everyone here, and I think it was an eye-opening and refreshing and amazing experience for everyone, from Dr. Prabodhana to Miss Rennie to the nurses and the official staff here. So I would encourage anyone who is interested in water birth to definitely give it a try. It's something worth pursuing. I don't have any regrets about it. But do speak to your doctor, do speak to your professionals and get their health and professional advice before you decide anything, and try to be as cooperative with them as possible as well. Make sure you make them aware of what you are comfortable with, your likes and dislikes, and trust them that they will make the right decisions for you when they need to. Overall, we had a very positive experience, and we're really happy with how things have turned out, and we're really grateful that Ninewells took the initiative in being the pioneers in this country to have this water birthing facility, because if not for someone like me, it would just be a pipe dream. And today I'm a very happy mother that I could give birth the way that I wanted to and that I feel comfortable with.